Are live.
But I talked to some of the. Yeah, we can get some of those guys in here. They got some pretty.
Let me see if
stories.
I can make this shareable.
I know,
Check if you can share it before we get started.
The
The live feed, yeah. To make sure we got this shit right.
Yep.
And then let me check the audio. Check if you can share it. Danny?
Yes, hello. How may I help you?
Oh, that sounds good. There's hissing. And people are putting each other on blast, bro.
On that blast.
On blast. I want to stay quiet. I'm gonna stay real quiet regarding any specific people. Hey, anybody get to see Kanye and that girl from the Olympics, the figure skater?
Maloney.
Is that her name? Maloney?
Maroney.
Maroney?
Baloney.
Maroney baloney.
Maron.
Yeah, she was like not happy with the medal or something, or she like made a face or something.
She wasn't impressed.
Not impressed by your performance.
Hey, Chief is watching.
Your chief?
You're fired.
Carlitos Estrada, aka El Feo.
Miguel's brother.
Yeah. For some reason, they always.
The soccer player?
Yeah. No.
What is this?
That was a soccer player.
What is this fake news?
Oh, I need a pencil. I threw a fit, a bitch fit. Because I walked in here and it was worse than last week. What the fuck's going on here? Gotta throw everything away. I haven't been able to upload the last show because there's shit everywhere. She grabbed the bag. Fucking tossed everything.
Oh. Andele. Yard sale.
Whatever. It wasn't my fault. Oh, man. Let's see where we is. Where we at? Let's get it going. That's not my job, says everybody. It ain't my job.
It's not my job to do your job.
Oh, that Estrada. What's up, man?
Oh, puro Catrín.
Reading some of these messages right now. That's not my job, fool.
Hey, how many you should we should do something on like people snitching on other people, like the stories.
Oh,
like,
yeah. If you got a story, yeah,
like
DM us real quick.
hello, Felipe's drinking on the job.
I mean, we got a lot of like general stuff, but
Fucking
I don't want to say any specific names.
no, dude, but
Shit.
snitching is the best because it's funny. But he did it. He's doing it.
There's no snitching. You can't say snitching. It's called whistleblowing. I'm
Just here for the day.
yeah. All right, we're just checking. We're trying to get some more viewers. It looks like it's slowly increasing to our dedicated 20. But
they're not used
thousands of
to us
downloads on the podcast.
They're not used to us being number one, being on this early.
Yeah.
They're used to the evening shot, 7 o'clock or later. They're
7
also
o'clock.
not used to us being pretty close to being on time, actually.
Yeah, we're about 15 minutes late, but
That's probably better than most. Usually at least a half
5
hour.
o'clock and 7 p.m. rolls
At least
around.
half an hour later, and then they'll all start talking crap too. What time is it?
Hey, one time I was over there and I saw some things. And I told him, hey, Felipe, it's not my job.
That's the guy that they always interview. The news. They always interview the guy with the worst English.
oh, dude.
Oh, pues,
Or the worst Spanish.
Sé, the guy, and I saw the car, pues, it's bam. It's mucho noise.
Oh, man.
You seen
And
the,
then,
dude.
the
I got
police
bronchitis.
and,
This is the same shit up. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Sweet Brown. classic viral internet sensation.
Or the
Sweet
Antoine
Brown.
Jackson.
Antoine Dotson.
Dotson.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, because they raping everybody up in here. Oh, yeah.
La corre allá afuera, pero cuando la corro se fue para allá, el mi homie está allá. Nomás allá.
Karateca, güey.
La corre allá afuera, pero cuando la corro se fue para allá, el mi homie está allá.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's horrible.
That's what some officers speak, bro. They're like, they're
Dude,
straight.
somebody's gonna remix that shit.
As they say, they have the nopal en la frente. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
You just
That
can't
dude's a
deny their.
hardcore-
Yeah.
You know, probably
Oh, especially
hardcore Sureño, has Aztec fucking tattoos on him, and he can't even.
Yeah, he's got the Leonardo
Formulate
Vida
it.
on his chest, right?
Yeah, he can't even freaking formulate a coherent sentence in
Because I was
Spanish.
like over there, kind of, sort of, full.
La corre
La
allá.
corre allá,
And then you just hear,
mi home allá.
and me dijo, pa.
I don't even know what he was saying. Was he beating their ass or what?
Man. All right. So you got any watts for today?
I got a little watt. For
You got a
you.
little watt? Shit,
Yeah,
prove
this is
it.
a little follow up from my down watt from last week.
Man, we had
Oh, now you got an up watch.
last week just turned into just a watt show,
It was
right?
That's pretty
what's
weird, though.
happening. That's what you should. That's what you should title
I
that
like
show.
that.
Right?
What's happening?
Catching up with the Hot Mic team. What's happening?
What's happening now?
I sound like the
I
guy
like that.
on.
What's
I sound like the
ha-
remember on
Bad
Born in East LA.
name.
Remember Born in East LA. The what was it?
What's happening?
OTMs other than Mexican.
Other than
What's happening? What's happening?
teach him how to walk like cholos.
Wabana. Yeah.
Wabana.
Teach him how to.
All right. Let's get it going.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Sure thing, bud.
Big Bud. I
Sure
can get a little quick.
thing.
Oh shit! Hold on, dude.
Oh God.
Oh my god. The intro.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Here's the intro.
Superman.
Waka waka waka.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go with the. Wait, this is hot mic. Hold on.
No, this is Hot Mic.
All right. So this is the intro. Thanks to the Bad Mothers for providing the soundtrack. Oh, by the way, the Bad Mothers will be performing at Whiskey A Go Go, right?
Donde es
Donde?
eso?
In Los Angeles,
Oh,
Hollywood.
watch out for the bums.
Yeah,
Damn, dog.
September. So first weekend of September. September
First.
2nd, 3rd. Yeah,
In
it's a
PPL.
Saturday, so check them out. The Hot Mothers. I'm gonna call them the Hot Mothers, so it's a mixture with
Hot
Mike.
Mothers.
Yeah, yeah. Bad Mothers.
Bad
Ready?
mothers, hot mothers. Yeah.
Let me get a clap.
Tuning in, we say hello. This is Hot Mic on the Line. Hot Mic is a show directed to support those in corrections, law enforcement, and first responders, and our families. Remember, all the hosts and guests may speak of certain subjects about their line. This show does not represent any department in any way.
That's right.
It is solely our opinion.
Warning, this show contains explicit content that may not be suitable for the easily offended, the faint-hearted, the intolerant of bad words, the individuals who are looking to get upset, and the triggered.
Talking to you, Karen.
If you believe that you're about to listen to material that you may find objectionable, offensive, distasteful, or unpleasant, please tune out now.
Are you still listening?
Hot Mic is real talk, and we are live. So kick off your boots, grab yourself a drink, and stand by.
Stand by.
By the way, that only took one take, huh?
Oh yeah, we were done. One shot, one kill. Like the snipers.
The snipers, and with me doing this thing, it is the master of disguise, the training of all
Trainer
areas,
of all trainers.
training of all trainers, Danny, aka Pikachu.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
And then out here across from me, we have. I'm almost trying to put a new intro for you, bro. Fucking the air medic, the patching of all holes possible, the finger in the butter. That's what you do,
Oh, what
right?
was that
Wake people
called?
up.
A butt wink.
butt wink, butt winker.
The
Rectal
master-
tone.
The maximum-
Sergio, the aromatic.
What's happening?
And I am Ariel, the dumbass on the other side of the mic. Let's get this shit started. Today's show is That's Not My Job.
Not my job.
It's not my job. First, we will get started with the word on the tier, aka the watt, not to be confused with the
Wap.
or the
Wap.
Come on.
watt. Word on the tier. Last show turned out to be just a word on the tier show. We just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. And I just kept talking and talking and talking and talking and rambling. And
Till you start slurring.
so that's when it gets good, man.
Like us in the industry call it. That's where the money is.
The money. The money maker. Shake your money maker.
What?
So,
What? You got a
what?
what? You got a what, Surge? Big
Uh,
savage.
It's like maybe a tiny thing. Yeah.
Okay.
That event.
Oh yeah, sure. Throw it out there.
Yeah,
okay.
so what was it? July. I believe it was July 13. I was part of an event down at the border where Border Patrol put on a border safety event. It was kind of neat. That's the first time that I've been kind of on the ground when that's happening. We've done it 3 years in a row. But basically what it is, it's a message to other countries that are sending where people are coming to cross illegally through the desert.
From Canada.
Yeah, Canada. You know, Alaskans.
Alaskans.
Yeah.
If
No.
there's one thing that's plaguing this country, it's Alaskan refugees.
Yeah. The
Continue.
mountain men are coming through, and just the dangers of desert crossings in the summer, right? So heat related illnesses and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of neat. So brought a bunch of stakeholders out, consulates from Mexico, Guatemala, Peru, Border Patrol agents, the chief from Border Patrol here was participated in the walk. U.S. attorney, and a bunch of other like high caliber people were there. They simulated like they were being smuggled across on this side. They walked 2 miles. It was like 113, 114 that day. So it was pretty real.
I have a question. You mentioned all these people. There's somebody that's in charge of border protection, right? Was that person there?
That's the DHS, right? So the chief for Border Patrol.
No, somebody higher than that?
Yes, there was a representative from DC.
Oh, so it wasn't just our VP?
Your VP?
Your VP.
No.
It's
My
not
VP?
mine. Your VP.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. Yes, but no, they weren't there.
She kind of laughs like this.
Yeah, she was not there.
No. Okay. Just wondering.
Oh my god, I'm trying to avoid that question. But anyway, so it was kind of neat. So we brought in 3 helicopters, the 2 resources that Border Patrol has, and then one of our helicopters over, and basically simulated like they were being smuggled across by a coyote, right? And the guy was a Borstar agent that kind of led them through, and basically treated them like they were cattle. Like, hey man, your money, hurry up, move, quit talking. When I tell you to move, you move.
Ooh, cattle.
Right.
Cattle
kinda
prod.
So they made it 2 miles. Some of them were, pretty cooked. They simulated a response because they have, I don't know if you noticed, but they have beacons out in the desert
Mm-hmm.
where people that just kind of give up on their journey, they can hit that.
You can
and there's
tap out right there?
there's emergency response that is activated and all that kind of stuff. So they did that, and just kind of, it was for the media to go back to their countries and say, hey, don't send people or deter this somehow to try to mitigate loss of life, right? So, and then the chief shared some numbers, but really, in the last 3 years, the loss of life or the deaths in the desert have decreased pretty substantially.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like it's working. Whatever it is that the chief and Border Patrol and DHS and those guys are doing is working. And they did that
So
something similar in San Diego.
Is it deaths are decreasing? Does that mean attempted crossings are decreasing,
No.
or it just means that they're getting better
No,
care?
attempts at crossing are increasing.
But deaths
Deaths
are
are decreasing, which means that there maybe we're doing something right as a collective.
Or maybe now they're not afraid to get caught, knowing that they're going to get taken care of once they set foot over here.
No, I don't know, man. It's pretty dangerous. I mean, they cross through the mountains and the desert.
Yeah.
I mean, they're lost sometimes. They're out without water, without food. I mean,
Wouldn't
So
be-
the
I mean, would it
medical
be-
response is now better though, because you're saying there's less deaths.
well,
So it seems like they're-
we coordinate pretty well
Right.
with
So-
BP, and we have basically some direct lines to the special ops units that they have, and we just work well together. I mean, that's the reality, right? But the number of crossings I don't think is going down, right? I mean, that's a given. I mean, we all see the state of our country or the borders. But I think what's happening is the responses to those events are better, right? And maybe people are crossing at a different time. I don't really know what, but it's working. The number of deaths, and that's all you could ask for, right? Like, yes, people may be coming across illegally, and maybe they're searching for a better life. Some of those may be criminals, some of those probably not. But the reality is that you don't want people to die, regardless of why they're here, right? So when they come across, we're just gonna try to ensure that they don't die.
We know how we are, right? I mean, us as Americans as a whole, all we want is entertainment. Wouldn't it be interesting if they turned it into like a real reality-based TV, like a TV show? Like then maybe they do already, but you know they got the beacons.
Life in the what
I
is
don't
that, day in the
know.
life of Border Patrol.
No, I'm talking about people crossing over. Like, hey man, you want to be a part of this show? It's called Quemado or something. I don't know. And
Yeah, I get your sense.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're gonna follow you around with cameras. If you make it across, and all the way to your tío's house or whatever, or life of whatever with your new life,
We'll hook
we're
you
gonna
up.
fucking pay you with some money, right? But if you hit the beacon, hey, you're out, fool. Like you're out. Yeah, that's cool.
You're
Like,
not.
if you quit, yeah. If
You're not
quit,
down.
Yeah.
It would add like Price is Right music.
Yeah, I'm just. you
What?
know.
No se hizo. It didn't make it. What do we have as a consolation prize?
Well, Conchita, you're gonna get a little
A ride
gallon
on-
of water to go back.
A
Walk
ride
back
on
2
right on
miles.
the Reach helicopter.
Well, that's what it was. It was a gallon of water. That's all I got.
And Reach.
No, but all in all, I mean, like, yeah, regardless of what we think, right? Like, it was a good event.
Yeah.
It was a good awareness for a lot of people. that
It's nice to
probably
know
don't see it.
that we're actively, well, certain agencies are actively trying to do their part to deter taking that route
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
come across,
Absolutely.
because you don't really hear about that all the time, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, like the people that were there, stakeholders, they talked about the prosecution side of things,
Mhm.
right? Like how it's important, right? Because sometimes the smuggler just leaves the people there to be stranded because they're not.
They have-
carried. It's
Yeah.
feria, right? Their
Yeah,
money,
they got paid already.
right? So they're like, hey man, like you're not gonna make it. See you later. Drop your baggage, right, real quick. And so that prosecution piece was pretty interesting. And then just the healthcare piece, right, that I'm involved in, or the pre-hospital piece, the coordination with all the boots on the ground. I mean, it's pretty impressive, man. The amount of coordination that happens to save one life,
Fuck.
right? I mean,
It's a lot of money.
It is, and that's exactly. Some of the media was like, hey, like, well, who pays for all of this enormous response? And the truth is that all
Taxpayers.
of us do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all do. You pay your taxes, you're paying for it, right? You know, and I think I made a joke. I was like, I only pay for the legal ones, right? Like, I only pay for the non-criminals, right? Like, that's
okay.
a lie I'm gonna tell myself.
Yeah.
I don't
But
be
whatever.
paying for them
Leave
salvatruches.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
that is. You
salvatruches.
cannot say that. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, dude, what's wrong with you?
Well, like,
But
I excuse my ignorant friend here, and all the beloved Salvadorians out there. But anyways.
yeah, but
that's a derogatory term.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I thought that
and
was a
then,
gang.
Just like Hondurans, you can't call them catrachos.
Oh,
And what
yeah.
else? Right?
there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, so one thing that I did learn, right, is that so they have Border Patrol here locally has a pretty impressive like media, social media presence, and their media team.
We follow them.
Yeah, the BP chief on Instagram,
Uh-huh.
and like so they have all these nice drone shots and all that stuff, right? One of my favorite hashtags, Trucha Coyote.
Wait, watch you.
Dude,
Watch out,
It's
coyotes.
awesome, man. But yeah, it was a good experience, and it's pretty neat.
That's fucking cool, man. That should be a show of its own. That's badass.
Yeah, it's
Let's keep that in mind.
I would love to talk to those Borstar guys.
No,
I'd love
let's
to
bring.
have
I want to
one
bring
on the
somebody
show.
who went through that process.
But
You know what I
came
mean?
across.
Yeah, came across and
Made it.
everything, and made it, and married an American woman, and
Yeah.
anchored himself here, and he's good to go or whatever.
Well, dude,
I know a person. I'm specifically talking about somebody right now. So
Gotcha.
I'm not saying that that's what everybody does.
No.
I don't want to offend
got a person
anybody,
in
but
mind?
yeah, I have a person in mind. I have a lot of people in mind, but yeah.
I'll bring my tío. No.
I know. My tío, Jose.
Tío, hey, what's up, tío?
Yeah, from,
You're on Facebook,
Your
fool?
tío from Alaska.
Yeah, my Alaskan uncle.
Somebody just made a comment. It's like, hey, dude, Alaskans are from the U.S. So we
But it's
know
on
that.
the other side, fool.
Danny,
Yes, sir.
your continuance of your Watt.
Well,
from
part
last
2 of
week.
my
Part
walk from
two.
last week. So last
Watt.
week I brought up what I called the elephant in the room, which was the Uvalde shooting. And July 17th, there was an attempted mass shooting, active shooter in Indiana at a mall at approximately 5:54 p.m. A deranged individual bent on killing exited a restroom in the mall and began an active shooter spree. Exactly 15 seconds after he started shooting, a bystander who was armed legally, might I add, contrary to some of the misinformation that's being put out there by the mainstream media, a bystander who was armed legally by a recent law that was passed in the state of Indiana for concealed carry in public places, drew his 9mm weapon, pistol, and from approximately 40 yards away, discharged 10 rounds at the suspect, hitting him 8 out of those 10 rounds
Oof.
and killing him.
Goddamn.
Bravo.
Bravo to the hero of that situation. It's unfortunate 3 people did die in that, but you can't put a number or quantify the amount of people that he may have saved. Apparently he was armed. The guy had a lot of extra ammunition, so he was bent killing as many people as he could that day. But Mr. Dickens, 22 years old, concealed carry, armed bystander, took out the threat, engaged the threat from 40 yards away.
Shut him down.
40 yards. That's quite the distance, too.
So I am
with a handgun, right?
with a pistol, a 9mm pistol. So I am proposing that somewhere down the line, we introduce the Dickens drill, which will be 10 rounds on a man-sized silhouette for time. You know, it's going to be a good little drill that we can practice from 40 yards out. That has got to be one of the absolute worst situations or scenarios, atmosphere, whatever you want to call it, to be pressure, to be shooting under those conditions. For him to have done that, like, unbelievable.
So, on that note, I shared a post from from who it was, but the Hidalgo Society here locally, right? They're gonna host a CCW, I guess Q&A session, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe the city of Brawley is going to be able to, or maybe that's, I don't know if that's what it is, but like the Brawley Police Department is gonna be there, and they're gonna answer questions about getting your CCW, what's the process, what you need to do. So it's a lot of, I think that's kind of neat. Right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have that very often, at least here. So that's on August 17th at 12 p.m.
At the
Hidalgo Society.
at the Hidalgo Hall.
Yeah, Hidalgo Hall. So be there.
Yeah, I mean, Brawley fucking shootings every other day. So
For us non-law enforcement folks, illegally carrying.
stay strapped. Watts. I don't have any watts. I've been just super busy with work, doubles and a doubles.
Oh, wait, I did want to say one thing. I wasn't just joking about the misinformation, right? Everybody wants to throw that word around, misinformation. If you Google that event, right, because it doesn't fit the narrative, right, the good guy with the gun, there's a lot of articles. There's actually a very popular. I won't even say their name because I don't want to advertise it. But there's a very popular morning show with several female hosts that no, that
They're getting sued,
that
by the way.
it still made it. They still were like, they were almost bashing the 22-year-old
This-
guy that shot the guy. They were
Save lives?
yes,
So
they were.
they're
they were
bashed
they were
him
saying
just like
that-
they
like
bashed
they did
Kyle
the
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse. They were she's on live TV. Well, I don't know if it's live or not, but she's
They
saying
are.
how she's not.
Oh,
He
I'm sorry,
wasn't
Whoopi?
supposed to have. One of the co-hosts was saying that he wasn't even supposed to have the gun in the mall. They're making it all about him. Like
Well, good
this,
thing he
this,
did, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But
Even if he
no,
wasn't
that's
supposed
what
to,
you
let's-
would think. That's what you would think. But they're in there. They're saying like, this guy, you know, he wasn't even supposed to have a gun in there, and he somehow manages to get the gun in there, and got super lucky to, you know, kill this guy. And well,
Put
they
it
were
on a waist and they walk in.
they were saying that it
And you
was
think saying that
illegal.
you would think you would think
Yeah.
that them saying that they're talking about the bad guy.
No, yeah,
But
no.
they're talking about the
They're
guy
talking
that
about the
stopped the
guy
active
that shot.
shooter.
Yeah, you would think that they would be talking about the bad guy and holding him accountable, but no, their focus is on this guy. How did this
How he's
young
skirted the
22-year-old
system.
kid wasn't supposed to have a gun in the mall? You're not allowed to have it, which again, all wrong. They didn't know the law. That law was passed this year that you could carry in certain places. They changed the law specifically for that reason, so that concealed that
Good job,
legally
Indiana.
carrying citizens could be in those public areas, right? And yeah, they just go on to just bash this, and the one gal is like, yeah, you know, I went through training. Hitting a moving target is hard, and you shouldn't take
It
this.
is, but-
Basically, trying to dissuade people from like, hey, just, you know, if you have one of those horrible guns, don't carry it out in the public because don't try to be a hero like this guy, because this guy got lucky. It's hard to hit a moving target. It's you're not supposed to
Lord.
carry your gun in certain places. So just, man, like,
Do you think half of that was ignorance and the other one was like just disagreement and the fact that the guy actually saved some lives?
oh,
or-
I think it's a combination of both. It doesn't go along with their little agenda, and it's ignorance because she didn't know the law. She didn't
I was
know.
gonna say some people
So-
like in those positions, right, where they have some clout, their word carries a lot of weight. Like they're
Yeah.
so removed from reality that sometimes they think they know.
But think about those ladies from that show. Number one, they're fucking idiots, bro. Like they are. And it's been proven because again, Kyle was able to get a certain person off the show, and now they're getting sued. Like they made like they came to an agreement. I was like, all right, cool, let's fucking just pay this kid some money because they not only did mess up, you know, his reputation, but it was they defamed the fuck out of him. Like they pictured him as a bad guy, right? Fast forward, like Turning Point USA. Now they're saying that those guys are racist and this, and that they push a new Nazi agenda. They're gonna go that route too. They're about to sue them also for doing that shit.
Wow.
So I hope this kid that saved lives from the mall, gets the same lawyer that Kyle got and goes after these idiots.
Yeah.
Bro, like if you go to court or if you're found, it's been proven that you're a fucking liar and you keep spewing these lies on TV and camera or whatever. Like, dude, how are these people credible? How the fuck are these people still getting their point across? How are they popping up on Google? I want to talk about Google. Google, I don't use Google. I haven't used Google in years. DuckDuckGo is a place to go. I'll tell you right now.
Quack,
Right?
quack.
I'm not even we're not even getting paid by these motherfuckers, by the way. But
This message
DuckDuckGo,
brought to you by.
DuckDuckGo, if you type something, compare any political subject that you want to look up, type it on Google, look at the top, searches on the search bar, look at the top, what's going to come out, right?
Like when you're searching Google,
Yeah.
the autofill feature,
The
you mean?
autofill,
Or
yes.
the auto suggest,
Yeah.
or whatever it's called.
Look at it, right? And then go to DuckDuckGo and then look at that. They're not biased, bro. Like they're gonna tell you, hey, check this out. They're like they're in the middle. But if you go to DuckDuckGo, they're gonna hide a bunch of shit.
Oh, the other way. Google.
Yeah. They're gonna hide so much crap. It's not even funny, dude. They're gonna hide like you're gonna think like, wait a minute, there's big news going on right now. How come it's not out there right now?
The naked peoples. Then
Oh no, January 6th. Ah! You know, that's the first thing that will come up, right? Like they're not gonna talk about, the president fumbling words or whatever it is, wherever he fucked
Whatever
up
you're
now,
looking at.
whatever's going on, or somebody else messed up on that side. Like it's not gonna pop up on Google. It's not gonna be your first. It's not gonna be top 20. But you go to DuckDuckGo, it's gonna come out. Whatever you're looking for, something that meets kind of in the middle, so you can make a decision with some common sense and do your own research. It's gonna fucking pop up on DuckDuckGo.
That's
so
fine. So just while you were talking right now, I just did a quick. I just a real quick just to see, right? Not trying to fact check you or nothing, buddy. Okay, I'm not.
You are. I know you
I'm
are.
not Facebook.
It's all
But
good,
I
though.
just
I
wanted
like
to
it.
check it out. So check this out. So earlier, when I typed in Indiana shooting on Google, okay, when I typed it in, the top article is from the New York Times, which tell me the tone that you get from this.
Not valid.
Cab here.
After Indiana mall shooting, one hero, but no lasting solution. So what is that
Get it?
telling you? What is that trying? What is that saying right there?
But hey, who's to have
But that's
We
not the
still-
solution. That's
yeah,
not
we
the
still right. We still
yeah.
have okay. And then I did it on.
DuckDuckGo.
Oh, sorry, I opened up.
Porn.
I did
Pornhub.
it on
He-
Indiana shooting, and the first one is from CNN, but it's
Okay.
very objective.
Mhm.
Police identify victims, gunmen armed at the Greenwood Park Mall. And then the next one is New York Post. At least 3 dead in shooting at Indiana. Stopped by a gunman, or gunman stopped by armed citizen. So everything is. This is pretty. All these headlines
pretty objective.
are pretty. Yeah. Armed citizen neutralizes Indiana mall shooter in just 15 seconds. So yeah, just a quick search on DuckDuckGo. And remember, we're not affiliated with DuckDuckGo in any way, shape, or form. We just
But if they'd like to kick down some money, we could sure use it.
yeah, sure.
It's hot in here, we can use an
DuckDuckGo.
AC.
By the way, did we mention we use DuckDuckGo just now?
Don't use Google.
Dude, that's the first I've ever heard of that.
Yes, just change your search engine on your phone. Change that shit to DuckDuckGo, like everything else. All right,
Oh,
you guys ready
sorry,
for the
man.
show?
So I'm 2 for 2, folks, on getting Ariel riled up with my words on the tier.
and he loves doing that
And
shit.
I just love doing it. I
Loves
just watch
doing
him.
that
I
shit.
see once his leg starts
His vein
shaking
starts
like
popping.
that, is once his legs start shaking as I'm talking, I know that there's gonna be
Oh,
shit.
I do have a word on the tier.
there's gonna be a good rant.
I do have a word on the tier.
Go ahead. Give
All
us
right,
your
word on the
watts.
tier. Yeah. Real quick. If you see back there, wrapped around Mortimer's mug, there is a medal. So, and then right here on the hot mic sign, you see that right here? Yeah, there's another medal. What these medals are? That one, the one that I just pointed out to, that's from last year's police and fire game in San Diego, and this one's like a couple years ago in Las Vegas. Next week, we're gonna go compete for law enforcement, police and fire games, as they call it. But I have a soccer team that I like to take. It's gonna be our 14th year competing in Las Vegas. We did skip one due to the pandemic.
14th year.
14th year, bro. 14th year.
Wolfpack,
Team
baby.
Wolfpack.
Dude.
Wolfpack LE. And it's going to be fun, dude. It's not easy. Shout out to all of those that compete in the police and fire games. Doesn't matter what sport it is. And they have all kinds of crazy shit. Like you would think like, oh, it's probably just softball, flag football, soccer. Now they got boxing. They
There's
have
like
poker.
powerlifting.
There-
There's like wrestling and shit.
There's-
There's
yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. The new one, which
Wrestling.
is one of the more popular sports in law enforcement right now, pickleball. So that's a really cool one, man. If you've never played pickleball, let's go
Don't
play
even know what
one
it
down
is.
at the show. So you get a pickle, right? And then
In your pants.
I really like.
you
I like
put it in your
this already.
pants. Yeah. Yeah, so again, next week, I'll try to post as much as I can videos. I go as a coach now. I'm too fucking old. I'm broken to even play. I know I mentioned it last week on our show, but yeah, next week Wolfpack LE will be competing. Last year we lost the championship against a mixture of teams. It was a team mixed of different people. I think 2 guys are from Chuckwalla, and then everybody else is from other places. And I'm not gonna hate on the show or on this
So
show.
you're
as far
saying
as-
there was ringers.
I'm not gonna say there's
Uh-oh.
ringers. There's loopholes. There's loopholes for
Some guy's
sure.
last name was Ronaldo.
Yeah, That a Messi
and Officer Ronaldo
yeah.
Officer
from
Beckham.
with no shirt on.
Upper Paducah Police Department.
All right, man. Let's get this show started with our theme. That's not my job.
That is not my job.
Have you ever had that type of mentality? That's not my job. Sergio, direct question to you.
I have not had that mentality. I usually, even when I was working like in a grocery store when I was growing up, like, hey man, sweep this, do that. Okay, I'm gonna get right on it and get my best people on it. Never. Now that doesn't mean I'm happy to do a lot of those things. Like, hey, go scrub the shitters. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Fucking scrub the shitters. Motherfucker, you know. But no, yeah, I've never, I've never voiced that to any of my, bosses or managers or whatever. No.
That's not my job. You never said that before. Now, you as a supervisor, have you ever heard somebody tell you,
All the time.
that's not my job? Put the finger in that patient's butt. That's not my job.
I'll get right on it, sir. No, I mean, I think a lot of this, where that may come from, right, is probably like, hey, a lot of, at least in your guys' world as well, like people have degrees, they've gone to school, right? They consider themselves
Different trainings.
professionals, different ways of life, right? Different upbringings or whatever, and then they make it, right? Oh, we made it. I'm a nurse in the ER, or I'm a nurse in whatever, right? And I'm not cleaning that poop that's on the floor. Call housekeeping. Call housekeeping to change that bed over. No, your hands work, and you're not doing anything. Go ahead and change that fucking bed, right? Stuff like that. The biggest one is always like stuff that's not in my job description, right? Like, oh, I can't. No. But come on, I mean, you gotta shut that shit down as a manager or as a leader or whatever. You gotta shut that shit down quick. But you gotta be tactful. You can't be a jerk about it. But I mean, it's pretty annoying.
Yeah. And I know people are right now are holding their tongue thinking, if only we can say, what they're really thinking in their head out loud about those people that say, oh, that's not my job. We work in a line of work where it's, what are we? Exactly. I mean, corrections, are we really there to serve and protect?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Who are you serving?
But in a way, we're mostly there to do what?
Protect.
Provide security.
Well, yeah, we serve them by allowing them to go about their daily activities.
Mm-hmm.
Without us, they wouldn't be able
So
to do
they
those
can
things.
get program and all this other, nice things or whatever.
It is the
that-
goal of the department
Yeah.
to provide. No.
We're not gonna use
But
that
we do. We
verbiage.
do provide.
Uh-huh.
We do
Company
provide,
man Garcia.
Yeah.
We do provide them access to daily services, and we do protect by stopping them from killing one another by doing our
trying.
best. Right? We do protect in that aspect.
And we had so I think what it is, it's a new phase of workers coming in, a new generation of workers coming in, or lack thereof, because a lot of people that I've seen have never really had any experience in any other type of work or life. Maybe they've just been waiting and twiddling their thumbs to wait till they're 21 so they can apply for any department, whether it's law enforcement or whatever it is, right? And stay out of trouble mostly, so they can go to an academy, come out here, and now they got their little badge, and now they're little badasses, right? I think that happens in every generation. A generation before me, my generation, the new generation, before Danny. I think it always happens where a younger worker comes in and appears to have that mentality of, it's not my job, or it's not in my post orders, or it's not in my job descriptions. Because everybody fucking does that. A lot of people like to point fingers, and I hear it all the time. Oh yeah, these fucking you guys and this and that. FNGs, right? These fucking you guys, they fucking think they're entitled and this and that. It's not their fucking job, and leave it for third. That's like the thing, right? That's
Operation Lift.
Operation
Leave it
not
for
lift,
third.
fly lifts, right? But leave it for third or whatever. And I think like, man, I remember when I was super young.
You're doing
And
it all.
you did that same shit. You've been skating around for the past 10 years too, right? And who knows how much longer before that? But it does get frustrating, right? Now as a supervisor, you see that more. You see it more because there's a lot of telling. And those of you guys listening, there is a lot of fucking telling behind each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, did you know that, so-and-so fucking did not do this and that? What? Yeah, be hearing it from me, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, how come every time I'm on, I take all the calls, and when they're on, man, they don't do nothing, man. They decline all the calls. Happens everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Happens in every job.
And I think like to your point, it's always been like that, like you said, and it's just it's your role, it's your perspective, right? Like when we first came in, those old guys were the ones that were these fucking new guys. You guys don't know what it was like, You guys don't know what it was like back in when I first started.
Back
you know,
in
we used to walk them to chow uphill in the snow, and now you guys got it so easy. But now, a few years later, and I remember thinking, I'm not gonna be a freaking grumpy old bastard like that. And guess what? Now I'm the grumpy old bastard. So it's all about perspective. I think it always shifts. It shifts.
Well, I think the generations change, right? Like, for example, right? Like, I sometimes get frustrated, like with our kids. Oh man, they're not this or they're not that or whatever. But like, the reality is that they're not gonna suffer like we suffered or go through the things that we went through.
Good.
No.
Because they live in a pretty good house. They have it pretty well. We don't have to wonder if food's gonna be on the table or not. Some of us did, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, and people before us even worse, right? So like when I started working, for example, right, or people our age started working, they did whatever they were told because they appreciated the dollar that they were getting paid, right? So now you fast forward, very little kids are working at the age of 16 and a half or whatever. They're not going out.
Laws against that now.
Is it slavery?
Oh no! I mean, the thought of a 16-year-old
Child
kid
Labor
getting a
Act.
job right now, some of these teenagers, I
Right.
think, their freaking heads would explode.
Yeah.
Like,
A job?
you mean I can't play Fortnite all night?
Dude, it's funny you say that because not to go too much off subject, but my teenagers just asked me 2 weeks ago, hey, I've been thinking, he's always on my case. Like, there's a job opening at some deli. I'd like to go work there. Can I go apply? And you, as a parent, you're thinking like, oh, that's fucking excellent news. But I'm a very negative person. Like, I started thinking like, if she goes and works for this place, she's gonna fucking fail. Like, that was my
Oh,
thought.
shit.
Because, dude, and I started telling her, you want to go work, but you wake up at 1 p.m. during the summer. You wake up to go eat, use the restroom, possibly brush your teeth, because most teens don't, right? And then you go back to your room, watch Netflix for the rest of the day, and then take some more naps, and then come out to snack some more, and then you go back to your room to watch some more TV, and then go. I'm like, oh, girl, you have no fucking idea what you're going to get yourself into. Why don't you show me that you want to work and start waking your ass up? I didn't even say that early, 8 a.m. And start your chores at 8 a.m. Do your chores, do something without me telling you what to do, without me giving you expectations of like, hey, at 8 in the morning, you're going to throw out the trash, wash whatever dishes that we use that morning, fucking maybe clean the patio. I'm not going to tell you all that. You figure that shit out yourself.
What happened? Did you do it?
Fuck no. No, bro. Hell no. She's about to lose her phone right now, because again, like, I'm like, dude, I'm super frustrated. I'm like, dude, I'm working my ass off so we can all have nice vacation coming up. like all you do is nothing, right? And who knows what's going on in her little head? Whatever, they're all in their own little fucking worlds. But I see the outside, right?
Sure.
I'm looking in. I see your true colors. I can see your true.
You live with her, man. I mean, shit.
That's a song, by the way. Anyways, what I'm getting at is we're getting that type of worker right now, where you have to literally carry them by the hand. You have to carry them by the hand, and I've seen that because when I joined the department, and it wasn't long ago compared to a lot of OGs.
Back in 010.
Back in 010, Keys and the Whistle, 2006, but whatever.
Keys and a whistle.
Is that a thing? Like,
That's
all they gave was a
Yes,
Bro,
that's-
keys and
yeah,
whistle.
The further
When I
back
started,
you go,
yeah,
the less they had.
less protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I started, like, that's all I would keep hearing. Keys and the whistles, all we had. I'm like, oh shit,
But I mean,
really?
you do
And
it,
they're
I guess it
right.
was
you do it
true,
long
yeah.
enough
Yeah.
that you do start thinking back. You're like,
Yeah,
"God
one
dang,
radio for the whole yard. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone brought their own phone book to work. Or
Yeah.
patted themselves.
We had
up.
alarms.
We didn't have freaking
No.
stab-proof vests when I started.
No,
No, you see?
That's why I started
Dude.
getting fat, so I would have some padding.
like
And now that whole program it ran away with itself. But
Yeah.
Dedication,
anyways, we digress.
But yeah, and
Let's what were you saying? Huh?
what I was saying is,
yeah. I mean, the whole back in the day shit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the back in the
my
day shit.
Back in my day.
but one thing,
Not my
I'm
job.
very fortunate that my parents taught me the value of work very early. My dad would take me out to work. He used to deliver tortillas, right? If you guys don't know, check it out. Prison Guard episode number 1
Oh, number one.
With-
Fiesta Tortillas.
with almost 3,000 downloads. So that you know, I wouldn't. I liked getting up with my dad. You know, 4:30 in the morning. I like waking up, and dude, he would have me fucking iron his clothes. Hey son, crease my pants. My dad was always like, to look sharp, right? He's like, hey, crease my pants. Taught me how to crease his pants. I mean, I was like 7 or 8 years old or whatever. Fucking while he's doing his restroom routine. We all know our morning routines, right? Shit, shower, shave, all that good shit. So I enjoyed that, like, you know. Now it's like a little bonding moment, and then from there it was like it slowly progressed to, hey, hurry up, throw some shorts on, some shoes, and a fucking t-shirt. Let's go work.
Let's get to work, son.
Let's go pass out these tortillas, right? While my dad was like out there fucking doing his thing, and you know, fucking just talking to people and
Fucking
taking his invoice.
marketing, bro.
Say
He's
marketing. Thank you, marketing. That's the correct word.
Doña Lupe, you looking at mighty fine today.
Nah, not even.
You want
not
an extra
even- he didn't
kilo
do
or
that.
what? You want
He
an
didn't
extra
do that
kilo?
at all. He didn't do that at all. He
Turn that shit around.
Hey, motherfucker, let me put my dad on blast.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude, but you know, something as small as that, like, I was very grateful for that,
Yeah.
and I learned easily to read the need, and that happened. That I was able to transfer that later in life in other jobs. I had countless numbers of jobs, but when then I joined the department, one thing I did learn was like, shut up and learn. Somebody's talking, and they're telling you something you already know. Hey, shut up and fucking learn it again, right? And then now when I was physically doing something, like, I learned to read the need. Oh, the trash need to be taken out? I'm gonna go take out the trash. Hey man, porters do that shit. So it's
So-
fucking to
so
the
good.
top. I'm gonna throw this
So good.
you know, I'm gonna throw this foam can to
Not my job.
spill. You know,
Trying to balance that last fucking piece of trash on the overflowing, just trying to balance it just right, so that it,
yeah.
you know, because then you know if it.
Hey,
if
you
it-
won't catch me throwing the trash anymore though, because it's
Yeah.
not my job. But
That's right.
Oh, I still do that shit, man.
yeah. But you know, it's just a little.
Yeah, dude. I'll tell you, like, that's the thing, right? Like, leading from the front type thing, right? Like, when I work with these younger cats, right? Like, they get up late. Like, you know, let's say shift changes at 8, right? Man, I'm up at 6 o'clock, regardless of how fucked up of a shift I had. I'll get up at 6 o'clock, clean the bathrooms, scrub the shitters, throw all the trashes, vacuum, sweep and mop wherever I need to sweep and mop, organize the office, right? Because, like, you know, that's the work ethic, right? The pace that I like to set. And they see and they wake up rolling out of bed. Like, fucking man, I'm on a second pot of coffee. You're barely getting up. You look like shit, right? And you didn't do anything. Like ran 2 calls last night. Like that ain't nothing, you know. So yeah, you gotta keep the pace, but at some point you have to say like, hey, gotta manage this problem.
Yeah.
So do your job because this is part of your job. You know, for us, like these guys live there for 24 hours and then they leave, right? So it's pretty important, but god dang, it's difficult sometimes.
Especially with their upbringing. Like I said, I'm fortunate. A lot of people are not that fortunate. A lot of people, maybe they came from a good home, they had a good growing up, did not have to work, and now it gets to the point where they're like, mom and dad are like, hey, time's fucking ticking. You better find a career. You're 21, dude. Or dudette, whatever the fuck the case is, right? You're 21, 22. It's time to fucking go, homie. Find a job. Why don't you do corrections? Your tío does corrections and he's making a lot of money and he has all this time. He's got a badass house and a pool and a fucking Jeep and a this and a that and the jet skis and
Land Rover.
Go talk
Land
to
Rover. What the
go talk to your tío.
Yeah, go talk to your tío. Why don't you go do that? And there you go, fucking 21 years old. No experience whatsoever.
Oh, it's good.
Right?
Yeah, whatever that career
Yeah.
is, it's good.
Hey, tío, what do you think? Oh, man, you know what's cool? Hey, put me down as a reference, fool. Boom, there you go. Fucking expedite that application. A year later, you're in the academy, and you're biting into everything you know, right? Or everything you're learning. Like, oh, hell yeah.
Wide-eyed.
What? Yes. Sweep pocket to pocket. Make sure you have your hand warm just for courtesy. Pocket to pocket search. All that, right? You're taking notes. Yeah. You're taking notes, everything. And then you hit the institution, and you're a fucking robot. You're a robot with no prior life experience, and you oversee little things. You oversee that you can't read the need. So those people, the way I see it, need further training of life.
Well, guidance, right? I mean,
Guidance, yeah.
because one thing, right? Like the topic is that's not my job, or I didn't sign up for this, right? When I signed up to do what I do, I didn't sign up to finish raising children. And that's what we are all doing, right? Where some of these kids don't have that work ethic that it takes to perform at certain jobs.
Yeah.
And you have to lead them through that because you can't just fire somebody for not taking out the trash.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so I didn't sign up to raise children that are grown or finish doing somebody else's job, to raise their own children and provide them with the work ethic and direction of, hey, this is what working hard looks like. Why don't you try this?
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it takes years to develop that. But when you get there, it's a sweet thing, right? Because then now they're flying on their own. They're doing their thing. They're doing their job, and you don't have to worry about them. But it can be incredibly frustrating.
It reminds me of those signs that you see around. I think I've seen some around the joint. You know, pick up after yourself. Your mom doesn't work here.
Oh, and the restrooms, especially the restrooms, dude. Jesus.
So, what are some of the other things we saw today in the little comments on our post?
Basically what's going on.
What do we see? We saw leave it for third. You understand that concept, right, Sergio?
Yeah,
leave it for third
watch.
Leave it for third, right? You
Third-
understand that?
Is that
there
the night
something-
shift?
Yeah, is there something similar for? So we're second watch, day shift, 6 to 2 or 8 to 4, and then the third watch is 2 to 10, and then graveyards would be 10 to
I'll
6.
tell you one, man.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
So in the hospitals, all right, there's day and night shift, right? So there's 7 to 7A and 7 to 7P, right? Usually what would happen is fucking, during the day, all the doctors are available and, office hours are during the day, right? So a lot of these doctors are available by phone to either do a phone consult with the ER docs, or maybe, hey, doc, one of your patients came in, they're having a heart attack or whatever the issue is. They come in, they look at them, oh, yeah, we need to transfer them. Duh, yeah, we need that, right? The transfers, they work on them all day, and then all of a sudden, they're all getting transferred during the night shift. So these patients that have been sitting there for 12 plus hours sometimes, they're all getting transferred at night because it's, the night shift can take care of it.
Wow. So it happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere.
Figure
man.
that would happen. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that happens. What are some of the leave it for third or somebody else will take care of it type deals? That's not my job. We see that a lot too. I'm trying to think of some, but you'll see that a lot.
The popular one is a relief officer, sergeant, lieutenant that doesn't work in a regular area or place, and they're just there for the day.
Oh,
Right.
The best.
Right?
That's the
they're
best.
just there for the day. So you know that shit's barely gonna get done. Maybe some phone calls, maybe whatever program it's gonna be, and that's the common thing, right? And it sucks because a lot of supervisors, and I've been guilty of this, we bite into that shit too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey Garcia, what's up, man? Where you working? Oh, I'm in charge of 2 floor 1. Oh, you're just there for the day, huh? Yeah, man, just there for the day.
Yeah, never mind.
And everybody knows the fucking mindset over there. Everybody knows that, hey, Officer Garcia is just gonna fucking go and do probably the bare minimum, and good luck having extra anything, or having shit getting inmates or whatever the program get let out on time the way it's supposed to be, because when we're there for the day, we fucking forget everything. We don't know the program.
The schedule.
We don't bother.
Yeah.
We don't bother to call observation or whoever might know the program or the person next door or your control booth, whatever the fuck.
Bare
it is.
minimum, right? Bare
Bare
minimum.
minimum.
You just make sure no one's gonna die.
Yeah, that's
That
it.
day.
You security check 1, 2,
Sounds
3
like the
times.
ER, man.
You're good.
Sounds exactly like the ER.
Yeah,
Same shit.
and that's everywhere, man. That's
Yeah.
everywhere, dude.
Oh, hey, man, I got floated to the ER.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Well, you're a very seasoned nurse there, Danny. We're gonna give you some, the critical beds. Yeah. You know what? No. I'd rather not.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll put you in the back where all the sniffles come in. Fucking next thing you know, sitting on a sniffle patient for 4 hours or pretending that the bed's full, like, so we don't put a fucking patient in there. Like, dude, that used to happen, man.
Fuck. I mean, I think the best part about just being there for the day, or you're not the regular. I'm not the regular.
Yeah, I'm not the regular.
I'm not the regular. And you walk around like, the population. There's a fucking day room going on. You're just walking around like.
Hey, CO,
Hey,
wait,
I'm not
get
the
it.
regular.
Well, you know what? I'm not the regular. I'm not sure how
just here
that
for
works.
the day. I'm just-
And you're like, well, this motherfucker got like 20 years in. you
That's
gotta
just already.
at least know something.
Or no,
Right?
or at least tell
Yeah.
someone.
the best. So you're.
That's funny.
Here's
So
to-
those guys,
to
the,
finish-
the inmates are asking like, hey, where can I, whatever,
Yeah.
or like, hey, what
And I'll
happens to
tell
my,
you-
my
Or
thing?
can I get,
Yeah.
or like, can I get a cell move,
Yeah.
or whatever? And
I
there,
don't know.
so there's
I
one of
wouldn't
those
do that,
things
though.
where
Yeah.
that's
If you're
one
not
of
the
those-
regular, don't fucking move
that's
anybody.
what-
I'll tell you
so
right now.
you'll make phone calls or something like that. But if one of these guys, because there are people too. So you have, that's not my job, and then you have guys that are Care Bears that are just gonna be like, yeah, sure, like they
I'll
don't
move you.
I don't want no problems. So you want to cell move? Sure, I'll move you. So you have, it goes from one extreme to the other. So yeah, you'll have these guys
One bunk or two
that
bunks?
they'll ask them, hey, well, hey, CO, can I get a bed move?
Oh,
or
so they're rolling
whatever,
the dice as
right?
well. Those guys
Right?
are fucking
Yeah.
playing the game.
And so you might get the, sure, why not? Or you might get the, nah, you know what, man, I'm not the regular. I ain't gonna mess with that. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And the thing is,
I
like-
tried, right?
Yeah, it's also that what we say, like, we're not the regular, or it's not my job, or I'm sorry, not my job. We're not the regular, or I'm just here for the day. When we say that to an inmate, a lot of times it's like a form of defense. Like, we're defending ourselves from possibly fucking up that building or that whatever you're working, the education. It doesn't matter where it's at, right? Because we all know that in a prison, it's a mind games, and it's the inmates are just playing games with you, so you don't know if they're trying to one up you, if they're trying to have you do something stupid.
Test you, yeah.
Trying to test you, because Officer Lucero might fucking say, I might have a strict program, but Garcia comes in for one day and is like, hey, do you think we can go work out over in the corner? You guys normally do that? Yeah, man.
Yeah, they
fucking
let us do that all the time.
Lucero fucking lets us do it all the time, man. It's weird if we don't go do that. Yeah, sure, go ahead. And now you got like 7 motherfuckers, working out inside a day room. By the way, you're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
So, that's why I think that sometimes when we do that, it's like, oh, I'm not the regular, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. But when you say it to another partner, it's like,
Different story.
come on, dude. It's like, hey, bro, I need this, get this done, por favor. Like, can you do a breakdown sheet? Can you do this? Can you do that?
Some things that everybody should be able to do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. But
I'm only here for the day. I kind of feel like I'm feeling a little guilt right now because you know,
I've done it.
That's me.
Well,
I've done it.
That's me today.
That's
I'm just here for the day.
one of my biggest claims to fame is that I was vacation relief for so many years as a
you're
sergeant.
still on vacation.
No, vacation relief, that's different. So yeah, so I covered behind people who were on vacation, behind sergeants who were on vacation.
Also, you were the
for many
the
years.
floater.
For many years, right? And I did that for two reasons. Because number one, that's the only thing that was available when I was ready to bid, right? When I had first became a sergeant, there was nothing else, right? So I became vacation relief. So that was, I tried not to use that defense because I felt it was like a cop out, you know. Well, I'm only here for the day because I was rarely there for the day. I was there for weeks at a time. So it was kind of it was more of a what can I feasibly or reasonably accomplish in these 3 weeks or 2 weeks or 1 week that I might be there, right? So if an inmate came to me with a certain job or a certain problem or an issue, and I'd be like, oh, I can handle that.
That's easy.
You know? Yeah, well, hey, man, just before you even ask, I'm only here for this week. So, and they might be like, you know, and then they process too. Well, this motherfucker's not going to be able to help me.
It's
You know?
gonna
Yeah,
take,
whatever, man. I'm
it's
out
gonna
here.
take a month.
Right. So he's like, you know, so it goes kind of both ways. And then, hey, I'm here for 3 weeks. You know, I could do this, I can do that. So I would kind of measure it out. But, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty solid excuse sometimes. Not going to
Has
lie.
anybody, Danny, as a supervisor, has anybody ever told you to your face, that's not my job?
No, but I've heard that's not my post orders, which is prison lingo for, you
That's
know,
not my job.
That's not my job.
It's not. So, what happened? Tell us that story.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm pretty adept at being an asshole without being an asshole, if that makes sense. Like I have a way of talking to people where I can pretty much convince them to do what I need them to do.
So you have personal power opposed to positional power.
I would hope so.
Okay.
Yes, or a little combination, right? Because sometimes at the end of the day,
Little
You're like-
leadership equity.
yeah, at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be like, you know, hey, look, man, I'm the sergeant. I'm telling you to do this. We can deal with that later or
Yeah.
whatever, right? It's very rarely come to that, but I've always come to the position of, like you said, where it's my own reputation or whatever that people will just, you know, rarely are like, it's all in your approach. It's all in your delivery, right? Hey, man, I need you to do something. Not I'm ordering you, or hey, you're gonna do this. It's, hey, I need your help.
Yeah.
Right. That's different. Right
Yeah,
away. Right?
we're in this
Hey,
together.
I need your help,
Yeah.
and I know I can count on you. Right there. Right. What are you doing right there? You're already empowering them to, you know, wow, okay, this guy who I feel is a fairly
You're allowing them to have some control
right?
over
And
the
Yeah.
situation.
I you know, and I know that I can trust you to take care of this. I know that you can handle something like this. There's not that many people on the so that whole regular thing. Hey man, you're my only regular today, and that was from the beginning of the shift.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, if I came in and I see we have our sign-in sheet. It's a FALSA. We have a sign-in sheet that has everybody who's signed there, and I'd look on certain days and I'd be like, holy shit, like I got no regulars here, you know. And there's that one lone guy. So when he's signing in, hey bro, I don't know if you noticed, but you're my only regular. I'm counting on you to help, you know,
Yeah.
help run this smooth today, whatever. And you just give him just that little
Little push.
pep talk, and it would usually avoid.
Now,
any
have you
issues.
ever? All right. So you mentioned the pulse orders. I'm sure you.
any other duties as required?
Boom. That's that verbiage.
That's the catch-all.
Yeah.
That's the verbiage.
Yeah, well, in our world, it's duties as assigned, right? Like at the bottom of your offer letter.
Yeah.
Um,
With the exception of anything illegal or leading
Yeah.
to all that, or
Well,
all
even
that,
that stuff
all
they
that
gotta do.
jazz, as I say. But, I've heard people say that. Oh, yeah, I saw my posters fucking around. if you could catch the people in the act though, it's like, oh yeah, let's go look at your post orders. You're gonna notice a bunch of shit. You're gonna notice a bunch of.
They know.
Number one, they probably never read it. Number two, they never signed it. Like, there's a bunch of little issues that you're gonna see. But we're not dicks like that. We're like, okay, all right, let's fucking figure this out.
Let me ask you this. So, Danny, brought up like a certain approach that he used to take or takes with that
Stuff.
specific conflict, right? And have you how long have you been in leadership or any type of
Gosh, going on 16 years.
and you've been like in charge of people for how long?
And going on that way, listen, this fool going on 9.
Okay. So in that time, both of you, have you addressed it the other way? Where like, hey, I'm fucking telling you to do this. This is your job. Get to it. But maybe not that aggressive, but like with that tone.
There's
Guilty.
I was gonna
Yeah?
say that for me, it's only ever happened during emergency situations. It's never been. I can't think of a time. I'm sure if I sat down and thought about it, I could think of an instance. But I've never used that tone or come off like a like a drill instructor type. It's only happened a handful of times, and it was during emergency situations where there was, and like I said, there's a time and place, right, for working from that personal power or from the position of authority, and that at that time it was solely position of authority. Basically, get your head out of your ass and handle business, or people are gonna get hurt, and that's happened a couple times where people are just kind of. So I'll give you an example, right? So we're involved in this incident, and we respond over, and there's multiple fights going on, and there's a we establish a what we call a skirmish line, right? So we make like a little line, and all the staff are there, and inmates are actively fighting in front of us, right? Like there's at least 3 different fights, and officers are using chemical agents, deploying use of force options, and there's one fight that's way far away where they got 2 guys on top of 1 guy, and we need to stop this, right? But we can't get to them because there's fights happening in between. So I look to my right, and there's an officer that's got a 40 millimeter launcher that can reach out up to 105 feet, well within range of that fight that's way out there.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there frozen with his weapon, right? And so I look at him, and I yell his name, and I tell him, "Hey, you need to fire your weapon." Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like he's visibly shaking, and he looks over at me with his mouth open, right?
Scared?
Call that slack jaw. Right? He looks over at me with a slack jaw, and he's just, I can see now he's not being insubordinate, he's not being lazy, he's
Just shocked.
Yes. And so I walk over to him. I think there's a scene in a movie like that where the commanding officer wants to take the gun from him. That's what I felt like doing. And I walk over to him, and I tell him, "Fire your weapon." Again, right? And I'm pointing.
Yeah.
Because they're stomping this guy out, right? And I'm almost to the point where I want to take it from him. And he finally, something I said in that whole exchange, snaps him out of it. He takes aim, and I wish this had a happier ending, but he shoots and fucking misses horribly.
No, fuck.
Just
But at least he shot.
misses horribly. I think he actually, if I remember, he hits the guy on the ground that's getting beat up.
No,
Right?
don't say that, dude. What the fuck?
But this is a long time ago. It was a long time ago. Anyways,
That's back in my day.
he hits that, so he misses.
No, it's
right?
a,
'Cause
no, it's a
guys
4-on-1.
People are fighting, right? I mean, people are moving, so he takes aim.
That shit happens, man.
He hits the guy on the ground. That shit happens sometimes, but I guess it is a happy ending. When the gun goes off, the 40 millimeter launcher goes off, and the guy on the ground is like, "Ah!" They stop.
Well, I get scared.
Yeah, they stop. They get off, and they get down. So, I mean, that's one instance where I could think where I really went up in that dude's ass. I was like, "Hey, man, you need to, fucking do something."
Yeah.
Right. But And there's a couple more like that too, from way
Yeah,
back.
well, I think there's a necessity for both, right? For both approaches, the more tactile kind of like, hey man, read the room, find your approach, and hey man, I need your help or whatever, right? And persuade them to help you and be a part of the team, and we're in this together type thing.
Yes.
Versus there's a time where it's like, hey man, you've got to do this. If you can't do it, I'll find somebody that can, right? And that's just a reality.
We can't do that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean, I totally can. And that happened during the pandemic, right? It was like a super stressful time for everybody, especially the beginning of the pandemic. A lot of people felt like they didn't know what we were facing. They didn't know if the N95s were, safe enough. The gowns, the goggles. Like, no, we don't have the right equipment. Like, no, the CDC is saying that we can use this. We're gonna use this, and that's just the reality, right? And I remember like one of the very first calls that came in for a patient that had COVID. Like, no, we're not going. Like they unanimously came together and said, we're not going. Time out. And again, we're already stressed out as a leader, right? Because now your resources are getting overwhelmed because all this stuff is starting to happen. You've been planning for, make sure that we have all of our safety gear and make sure that we have plenty of N95s, that everyone's fit tested, that everyone's good to go, that everyone's, ready. And then boom, the hammer drops and people say no. So what do? Right? Well, I think I approached it the wrong way, but I approached it, right? It was like, hey, this is the job. The CDC says, well, you need this. Do we have this? Yes. Do we have gowns? Yes. Do we have goggles? Yes. Do we have N95s? Yes. Have you been fit tested? Yes. Cool. Am I missing something? No. Okay, so you're telling me that we have the tools to do the job, but you're not willing to do your job. And I went crew member by crew member. It was 4 of them. Right? No, I'm not going. Cool. You? No. You? No. You? No. Okay, cool. All of you, grab your stuff, go home unpaid. What? Well, you don't want to do the job. It's like you saying you don't want to run a call just because you don't want to run a call. Go home. All of you.
Whoa.
So does that mean we're fired? No, I didn't say that. Come back when you're ready to do your job. I'll find somebody that can. And set a message across all of my employees. Oh, he's a fucking dick. He's forcing us to be unsafe. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. The case was, I come from a school of, I was a fireman first, right? What do? Run into a burning house when everyone's running the other way. So to me, that was my burning house.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, that's a good analogy right there. I like that.
But I learned my lesson, right? Because the impact that sent to all the other employees, right now I'm sure you get this reputation of like, hey man, Garcia's a dick, right? Or hey man, like every time we approach, Ariel, like, I don't know, man. Guys, he always fucking says no. Or he doesn't even want to listen to us, right? You get a reputation, but sometimes it's the wrong reputation. So it took me probably 2 years to push that back and hopefully have people understand like that was an isolated incident. Probably wasn't going to happen to everybody, right? But the crews or whoever were spewing their own message, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was misinformation.
So let me reverse it on you.
What's up?
What have you? When have you? Was there ever been a time when someone has told you that, like the post order thing, or did you talk about that already? No, you didn't.
Well, I had an issue when, and it's so disappointing because I know this person.
Mm-hmm.
We had an incident or something, and we go back to the office, and we're just kind of like ironing things out. Like, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that, whatever. And then somehow I tasked this person with something extra, right? So we can get whatever job we had to do, so we can get this everything going with the reports and everything. And this person didn't do it or wasn't getting it done. So I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I asked you to do this a little while ago. Hasn't been done yet. And he's kind of looking around. I was like, nah, well, that's not my job. That's the first time that I've ever heard that. It's not my job. And and I heard it from a person that I at least expected it from.
Mm-hmm.
So my little fucking vein right here on my neck started pulsing.
Yeah.
And I told him straight up. And I was, I'm going to admit I was a little unprofessional when I told him. But we're in a certain type of job, a certain unit where you don't fucking say that. So I'm like, oh, it's not your fucking job? It's not your fucking job? Are you fucking serious? It's not your job. You're telling me right now it's not my fucking job. Well, I'm like, I didn't ask him to do anything illegal. It was like something, I can't remember what it was. Like have a guy P test or some shit like that. I can't remember what the fuck it was. That's not my job. Oh, okay. And I'm just like, all right, motherfucker, it's not your fucking job. Okay, cool. So I go to my soup. Hey, this guy's got to go. What do you mean? This guy's done. We got a canvas for a new position. Fuck this guy. He's done. I was like, nah, man, what are you talking about? It's like, well, this is what happened. Like, I didn't want to go and cry and be like, he's not listening to me or whatever, right? Like, because I had never had that happen before. Every time I ask somebody to do something, I'm never gonna make anybody do anything that I'm not gonna do.
Sure.
Or haven't done before.
Maybe.
Because as a supervisor, like you said, there's some stuff that you don't do.
Yeah. So I never had that issue of like telling somebody, hey man, let's get this done. I got you. Or sometimes I don't even have to say it. It's getting done. Especially in another institution. It's like where I'm at now. But now, people just fucking jump on it and they read the need. They know what's up. But in this case, it hurt my feelings, my fucking ego, my everything. Dude, I'm like, what the fuck? This motherfucker told me this is not my job to my face right now. And I know this guy.
Yeah.
For a while.
Like, that's not what you expected.
That's not what I expected, right? And I wasn't telling him. So now, so my supervisor's like, hey, go talk to this person. Tell him your expectations. Have him sign OJT. I'm like, fuck OJT, man. This is a management spot. Fuck him. He's got to go. That's it.
Bye, Felicia.
Right? But we're able to iron it out. Someone else jumped on it. Someone else saw the
issue.
The issue, the commotion. They read the need. They fucking handled it, whatever. But that person was always like a little thorn because of it. And eventually left.
Well, I think that's the other aspect, right? Like when people tell you something like that, or you have a riff between you and a subordinate, right? It's hard as a manager to remain unbiased, right? Because that you don't want to do that either, right? If you don't want to do what I'm telling you, right? I shouldn't be treating Danny better than I'm treating you, right? Because Danny's more willing or flexible or whatever, right? But it happens. Your subconscious just fucks you over, and next thing you know, you're taking Danny out for coffee, and Ariel's over here eating fucking the breadcrumbs. You know what I mean? So it's like shit, man.
But we're cool now. Yeah, it's just like it's never been. That has never been an issue. But I have heard it. I have heard other. It's not just officers, supervisors, everything all across the board. Other jobs.
Presidents.
No. Whoa! Wait a minute. So that's another can of worms. So it's not my job. I think that's a mentality that a lot of us need to really not have, unless
it's not your job.
It's really not.
Is there ever a time when not my job is okay?
Is valid. Ooh. Above my pay grade. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade.
Outside the scope of your training. That's
well,
one
in
we use.
our world, it's outside of our scope of practice, right?
Yeah, I mean, because I think to our CPR curriculum, and there's a section about Good Samaritan, and are you, as long as you're not acting outside the scope of your first aid CPR training, you're good, right? So I tell these guys, just because you get this CPR class doesn't mean you can go out there and start doing a tracheotomy on a guy and like
I've seen Jackie Chan do it. I think I can do it too.
Dude, he started Ivy with the coconut and a brake line.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, seen that.
down, so down.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
No, I'm good. I think we should probably. I mean, I enjoy the conversations about leadership, so we probably should banter some leadership stuff one day.
Yes, for sure.
That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I wanted you to come up with that. You had come
Oh,
up
I
with
had
that
a couple
before.
of
Yeah,
topics.
so we're gonna
we need to have a
we're
board
gonna-
meeting first.
let Sergio handle the next big show. I thought this was gonna be funner, but we ended up like it kind of stayed semi-serious.
Well, it's not a heat
Felt
show.
like that. Yeah, it felt like no, I know, but I felt like it was gonna be more light. But we're like making
Well,
people
we
feel
didn't get a-
guilty
we
because
didn't
that's not my job.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of commentary here on the.
But I think everybody catches the gist of it, right? So
Mhm.
my final thoughts is that's not my job. There's very few rare occasions where that's a valid, I think that in our line of work where we're in the service of other people, period, that's not my job. It's probably not should be in our vocabulary like almost never.
Yeah, you
You
should
know?
be able to count the occasions where that's
Yes.
valid on one hand. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very.
That's-
you guys have obviously you guys have a very serious job to do, right? And there's processes and all that kind of shit, right? So skipping out of work just because you don't feel like doing something and loading somebody else is probably not fair. My line of work, the same thing, right? If we don't do our job, sometimes, hey, that's not my job. People are gonna die.
Yeah, I was going to say people can die, people can get hurt. So yeah, think of a different way to deal with those. If that thought ever pops into your head to say that's not my job, just find the strength and do it.
Or like Smokey says, "Quit being a bitch, come on."
Well, that's not my job.
To finish this,
To finish this.
finish this show.
As a worker, doesn't matter where you work, what position you're at. I just wanted my final thoughts is I wanted to touch on what Nick, who's listening right now, has said, and there's always something to do, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like we get it, we get tired working doubles, back to backs, and all that, but there's always something to do. There's a little city that we need to essentially oversee, and we're responsible of. And there's a lot to do, man. There's a lot to do. So hopefully a lot of us can get away from that mentality of that's not my job. It's not my this. I'm just here for the day. I'm not the regular, because that can be toxic, and it can make it very, very difficult for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. So, and if you don't care, then whatever. And that's me signing off. Thank you very much
That's
for
it.
tuning in.
We will see you next time.
Bye,
We'll see
Felicia.
you in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Well, actually, maybe next week.
Maybe
Danny.
next week.
Maybe
We'll
next
see.
week. Yeah.
Our first time on location.
On location.
Well, yeah, you guys are gonna be in Sacramento.
He's
I
gonna
will
be in Sacramento. Yeah. I'll be in Vegas.
Oh shit, Sin City.
Suave.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys for listening.
Good night,
Later, y'all.
everybody.
We will see you soon.